everybody, and welcome back to another episode on 539. So right now we are slightly outside of a place known as the Salamone Reservoir, and we are heading around to check on a location that we haven't been to in quite a while. It is a tiny little cemetery, and the last time that we were here, it was on the verge of having a very large tree fall on top of some of the graves, and wow, this is really overgrown. So we're gonna go ahead and check on the status of this place. As I've said so many times, it's always been looking like it's on the verge of collapse, and so far this massive tree has figured out a way to remain not standing but leaning against another tree. And there's our entrance into a local ghost town there that we have actually been filming in before, so make sure to check out some of those if it's the first time that you've ever seen the channel or you've never seen that series before. So okay, it's coming up here somewhere. I see a pipe. It's usually the signifier that I'm looking for, and I think our entryway is right here. Yeah, there we are. Let's be really careful. And there's our somewhat creepy looking trail heading back to our cemetery. So let's go find out what it looks like. At least one person that was behind me kind of disappeared into the ghost town. There is some hunting and fishing that's done there, so it might be that. Alright, let's go ahead and head in. We'll see this time if... Whoa. I hear thunder immediately. And coming up is our little beehive section here. Again, I don't know who owns these, or if they're even in. It doesn't even seem like. Let me zoom in. I don't know, I'm not seeing any activity. I don't hear any humming either. It's kind of weird. Okay, I don't know where the clouds are, but I can hear the storm coming. So I don't know how much longer I have. I can see a lot of debris on the ground. Wow. It may actually be that. Let's see how it looks. And wow. Once again, it is just insane to me. This tiny little cemetery. And it's really holding on pretty well. I think that the Park Service is probably taking care of it. Either that or the Army Corps of Engineers. I don't really think they do that sort of thing, but who knows. But you can see once again here, our tree after a second major storm that took down just thousands upon thousands of trees has not budged this old dead tree even an inch. And maybe it's because of the way that it's positioned. That it's fallen perfectly in between the two branches of this massive tree here. but it's just crazy. And you can see this branch here is the dead tree. And once again, a bottom up look at this just horrific sight. And it makes me wonder if there was no effect in all of the recent storms, what it is that actually took down this tree originally. If it was like a tornado or what it was. I don't know if I've really gotten the chance to read many of these memorials. So let's take a quick moment. I can't see any dark clouds. You can see the reservoir sticking through the trees here, or not sticking through, but you can see it through the trees. But I can hear the storm somewhere. It's kind of interesting that these are inverted from, oh, I can see, because this was actually a replaced stone and they put the old one in the back. You see Abigail here of it's like passed in 1864 on August 29th. And again, some poetry or a Bible verse of some sort there. And then there's an Elizabeth here. Let's see what we can get from the other side. Elizabeth Orr. And this one looks like it has been stamped. And who knows how old this was. It looks like somewhat recent of a job. You see 1850. Daughter of Robert Orr. And Eliza Marks Orr, I believe. Maybe we can see whose memorial here is going to be affected. See here the graves of Ethelinda, wife of Willis Jeffrey, 1872. What is that? Zilpha? Wife of, also looks like a wife of Willis Jeffrey, 1865. So this must have been his first wife, and then he got remarried, and that's crazy, because if this is 1865 like I'm reading it, that means that he got remarried and lost his second wife within less than 10 years. And look at the way it almost looks like it was like just twisted off the base here. It's just so scary looking. It doesn't even feel right to stand underneath it. This is really hard to tell here. And then these two stones here, as you can tell, are just completely gone, or were just decorative stones put there to signify where a grave was. It's hard to tell. There's no real names on them. And you see a lot of them in this particular cemetery here. I'm not sure exactly why. It might not have been a very high income area back in the day. And it does look like we have a Civil War veteran coming up. And here's the grave of Mary E. Hildebrand, 1862. And I'm not sure if this is a family. Yes, okay. It looks like Noah Hildebrand, 1892. Father and mother. Yeah, okay. I don't know how far I've ever ventured down into here either. It's not, this actually isn't private property. This is a park that's going down in here. I don't think they've really had many issues with anything sliding down the hill. It is a really steep hill. You can see maybe some base material that slid down over the years, but no real sign of like headstones that have slid. Not sure if we've ever tried to get a name off of these, but I'm gonna try to get another area where I can maybe glance down. I'm having a hard time read that one. Oh man, I'm like bending over upside down. I'm gonna try and get it later. This does look like we have some historic fencing below. Although again, like I said, all this is just parkland, so it's completely legal to be on either side of the fence. It just donates the old property line, and it probably at one time was donated and didn't always used to be part of a park here. So, you see. Galvin Bradsher, 1872. And Emily Bradsher, 1871. Wow. And some, I'm not sure if that's sad or happy timing or what you would call that. I guess it would be different for every person. Here's Rebecca. And I'm having a hard time getting the name. It's a lot easier on the camera. What does that say? Is that Galbert, maybe? Galvert? It's really difficult. Let me see what I can do. And again, even in the year, like there's so much dirt and growth. You would think that the extra contrast would actually help, but it does no such thing for that particular memorial there, unfortunately. And so the hill kind of goes this way a little way and then dips severely down. However, again, you can see that the historic fence line is here, so it's far enough away from danger that there really wouldn't be any need to even check that way for, you know, old stones that had fallen or whatever it might be. And nothing really along the edges. I did find, oh look at that little hidden geodesic marker there. Very interesting. Yeah, and it's just really deceiving with how thick it is. Like on either side, I mean, if you go like 30 feet this way, there's a dead drop off. And again, the same thing this way. And you can hear somebody is boating just down there somewhere. But again, another place that I don't think I've ever found anything in the brush, no matter how hard that we've looked. Makes me wonder if they're fishing or what the case is. Definitely see the old tree line going off that way towards the ravine over there. So it looks like we did check the right area. It is technically still part of the cemetery, just part of the old historic property line that is now since greatly overgrown. You can see there's not a whole lot of, there's a few bigger trees here and there, but back in the day, with the size of this brush and stuff, you can kind of tell it probably was a lot more clear. And so what makes me think that there could potentially be stuff hiding within. However, like I said, to date, I've never found anything. That is really weird. Is that a boat or is it a... It sounded like a boat was trolling in the water right below, but now I'm kind of wondering if it's either that or it's just like a truck doing donuts on the boat launch. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, it is kind of crazy though that the cemetery property lines go so deep in the woods there, and like I said, again, so many signs of it being once way more clear than it is now, but yet no signs of any use. Maybe it was just intended for future use. Let me do a quick scan around here, see if there's anything new or significant that we missed before. But it's really oddly looking the same, despite again being surrounded by trees and having gone through a lot of these same storms that have gone through the area, my area recently. So I was really kind of predicting that this might be the time that we come here, and this gigantic stump here, this old tree, had finally fallen. Let me say we have Elizabeth Williams here, 1863, and I think, I can't really tell, this might be her husband here, 1864. A little hard to read. Let's see, Isaac would have been his name. I can't really tell. That looks like it says, that looks like a J-A. Huh. So, might be a missing stone in here somewhere. Let's see if there's a Lydia here. Again, it says, I think, wife of something, J.R. Williams, does that say 1838? That would be one of the oldest ones, I think, that we found here. But again, nothing really next to it until we get to this here. And it looks like something Quillette of 1854. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of stones that have disappeared. It makes me wonder how many of them could be recovered if, you know, these rows were ever authorized to be dug up by whoever controls this particular place. Mary E. Wow, these are all so difficult to read. Mary E. Thomas, it looks like, 1803, wife of J. And let's see if that's maybe listed. Doesn't look like we have any other names. So once again, probably a case of there was another duplicate stone on one of these sides, and they've disappeared. It almost appears to me like it's this side. I don't know, it just seems extremely flat here, and looks like it has a little bit where the green is the right shape, maybe of a base. Just a pure and utter guess. It should not be mistaken as any sort of expert opinion in the least. I'm not sure again if this one has moved or if this is something else right here. And again, oddly, like I was saying last time, and we've been back there several different times to check, and there, to this day, is nothing to be seen. But you can see that the property line does run back there, as if when it was originally donated, it was intended to be a lot bigger than it ended up being. Alright, and we're going to skip to the front one last time here. I forgot to look and see this Veterans Memorial. Looks like it's Henry Hildebrand. And again, no listing on the actual little marker here of what war he served in. And looks like a passing date of 1860. And if that is correct, I would have to guess that it was not the Civil War that he served in, and maybe this here is a veteran of the War of 1812. Usually they get a special marker, especially if it's pre-Civil War, just because in this area it's really rare to see 1812 and Revolutionary War veterans. Oh, there is a chunk of something here that I've never discovered before. I can't tell. It is square, but there's all kinds of rocks in this area that look like that. And it could be a little bit deceiving. So I don't know. Again, it doesn't sound safe out here at all. I don't see any other markers for veterans of any sort. And you can see that there was a large tree cut here at one time. I can't tell if it would have fallen. It maybe looks like it could have fallen that way, or maybe this way. Hard to say though. But not really too much holding this beast up. Say the major part of its support is this tree and not this base. So maybe when it finally does let go, it's probably gonna swing. That would be my guess, maybe. I don't really know. And maybe, hopefully, somebody will come here and cut it down and take care of it long before it actually becomes a problem. So let's just hope for that. So anyway, thank you all for joining me again on another episode for 539. Thank you all, and I look forward to seeing you in the next adventure.